Fucking Peter Griffin, yo, he was killing it. Oh man, you still there? You still with me?
Yep.
All right. We are going to begin. Ready or not, here I come. You can't hide. Hide. I'm going to find
Uh,
you and make you want me. Let me see here. I'm sorry. Welcome to the No Filter Podcast yet again. It is August 28th, I believe. And, it's very difficult to come up with these topics that are not headline grabbers. It's not the easiest thing. It really isn't. It's not the easiest thing. So you want to understand this when it comes to these topics, um, and what this channel is all about. It's about finding topics that are interesting, finding topics that no one is talking about, finding topics that no one likes to discuss. You know, that's what it's about. That's what this is all about. And that's why I'm here for. And hopefully I can carve. Can I hear myself? It's about finding. Okay, cool. Yes, it is. And hopefully I can carve a decent piece of the pie and be relevant. Mr. Black, what's going on with you, buddy?
hey man, I'm chilling, bro. I'm chilling. What's good with you, bro?
Well, I'm doing well. You still got a little bit of that sleep voice, you know what I mean?
Yeah, man.
That nigga
I'm
just
having my coffee as we speak, bro.
woke up like.
But looking at this shit, like, you're like,
Yeah.
you bitch, you come in. I'm like, yeah, motherfucker, shit.
I was looking like, yo, he's usually on point, but I can't get mad at him because
No, I was just, yeah. You called me doing my morning dump, but my mornings is my afternoons. I work overnight.
Tell me why coffee, yo, coffee be wild, yo.
Yo, facts. That should
Yo,
make you go, man.
look. I'll wake up in the morning.
Mhm,
Because of the way that I eat, I'll take my
mhm.
dump. I'll do that shit before the shower. You nasty nigga. You know what I'm saying? If you don't, but I take two showers.
Yeah, facts.
I take two showers. Before I go to the gym. Like it's a prototype shower when I first wake up. Just
Mhm,
enough to get you in the gym so you won't be smelling like horse shit. You know what I mean?
right.
So
Mhm.
you do that. I go to the gym. I do my thing. And I come back and I take the other shower. But anyway, I'll do my little morning dump. That's just in the morning. I'll take my shower. I'll get dressed and go straight to the gym. And en route of me drinking my coffee, I have to take another one. And it ain't no basic shit. You know what I'm saying? The first one wasn't basic. Yo, I'm like, the fuck? It be full on. Like sometimes you kind of have to do a little boo boo and it's just a little bit. No, that shit be full on, yo. And I be trying to lift the fucking weights up and shit like that. Was snap. I remember one time this girl walked by. She had little pink beats or whatever the fuck she had.
Mhm.
I'm sitting there on the bench press. I'm sitting, sitting there down, push the shit up. So I'm like, what? Oh, so oh shit.
Yeah, nigga pooped out a little turd, nigga. He pushed it. Oh,
So,
damn.
oh shit. Little
Nigga run to
marbles.
the.
Little
Hell
raisin neck.
no. Raisin there. Yeah, a little fucking California raisin and shit.
No, it was,
Shit, bro.
it was just a little big ass. Ain't even nothing like that. But anyway, what you been doing lately?
Oh man, bro, I just
Oh
been
shoot.
really working this weekend. I barely got any gaming in. Like I probably got like less than 4 hours of gaming in this week. But it's the wifey's birthday, so this nigga just been working
Today?
hard trying to make shit happen. Her birthday's on Monday, but I just been preparing for shit for her birthday
Oh,
and shit.
nice, nice. Is she around?
Nah. She
What
actually
what
she in the bedroom. She in the bedroom.
what you planning?
I'm finna just I already got her gift and shit. I'm just finna go get her cakes and shit. Basically just trying to make sure the money right for her birthday. She
I,
don't be disappointed.
I
I
already know. I already know what you're gonna
mean,
do.
Yeah.
That nigga gonna look like that otter.
You niggas in the outer. What do you mean what outer?
Dude gonna oil himself up. Honey, I'm home.
Hell no, bro. Yeah, niggas just be chilling though. Shit been cool though. Horizon Zero Dawn been fire. I've been touching up on that. Fucking a little bit of Hades, a little bit of Guilty Gear. You know what I mean? Just trying to finish up on some platinums too. But,
Facts.
a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Know what I mean,
A little bit of this, a little
a
bit of
little bit of that.
that.
So you can get with that.
No, well, the same thing was going on with me. I can't tell you how many times I played Horizon. And I always feel the same way. You know what I mean? I make an equilibrium. You know what I mean when I play Horizon.
Hmm.
It's neither boring nor extremely exciting. It's just right in the middle. You know what I mean? It's just enough the bullshit. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
So I did want to try out. I've been already playing Horizon Zero Dawn before, but the 60 frames per second, I must say that mission successful. Mission successful. You know what I mean?
They
Mission
did a really
success.
good job. Oh god.
Because the cutscenes I thought it was going to have an issue. Streaming also too. If the game is running at 30 frames a second, it's timing everything, especially with an engine that looks like that. Everything has to be timed properly. So I know you want to
Right.
talk about
Right.
this shit.
Hmm.
You just can't double the frame rate and think you have it made, because you may have things that load too soon and cause frame rate dips,
Right.
or things don't load at all. You have issues with that. I don't know if you have if you had a PS2, if you sped up the loading, it would cause errors in the texture sometimes in certain games. So this
Hmm.
engine's probably fine tuned to somebody like you said. You really opened my mind when you said that Nixies is probably the culprit for this shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah, man. I was thinking about. I was like, yo, it's kind of odd that I think it was July 1st is when Sony purchased them. It's
Yeah.
only been like 2.5 months. So I was like, that
They,
sounds right about, that sounds like patch time, like dev
mm-hmm,
time, patch
mm-hmm,
time. That sounds
mm-hmm.
just about right for that patch, bro. You know what I'm saying? But who
They
knows, dog? They,
probably they
they probably will
probably
never come out and tell us who did that patch, bro. Ever.
yeah, they ain't gonna say nothing. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
like why would they? Like for what?
But there's also some stuff I want to say about that, but I'll save it for the other channel. So
Okay,
other
for
than
sure.
that, yeah, I was playing Guilty Gear. I tried out the patch, and for Guilty Gear, my character Faust had a buff,
Yeah.
but the game in general feels faster.
Yeah. I haven't played enough of it
As I was playing it, I was like, I
that.
mean, I understand how
Yeah.
Faust works, but just characters that I was playing in single player was moving. They were moving quickly, and there were
Hmm.
some adjustments. They ain't saying nothing. You know how I be picking shit up
Right.
easy. They ain't saying
Wait.
nothing. Yeah,
So you remember the patch notes? I
I'm.
believe the patch notes. You know what? And that shit might be on point that the whole game got faster. I believe it's because of the. Remember I told you about they're gonna like reduce the input lag on PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5 with that patch. I think
Mm.
it was this patch. I thought it was coming next patch, but it might have been this patch. That's
Yeah,
probably why it
I
felt
didn't.
faster to me.
I didn't peep it, but you know what though? I
Yeah.
think in general the animations are just a tad bit faster, just a
Notes
little
definitely
bit.
got faster in the patch notes. See,
You know
they
what I'm
reduced
saying?
a lot of his startup time.
Like
Oh God.
there's startup time, but there's still a little
Mhm.
faster. I ain't stupid. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But yeah. But we're gonna go straight into these topics like you would normally hear a podcaster say. So the first thing I wanted to talk about here, our first topic, is and I know that was jarring and shit. I had to just jump into it because I just realized we was fucking 10 minutes in this bitch talk, just chilling. But that's cool
Mhm.
though. That's cool because we don't have a full house, no, like we normally do. So being said, um, the Metacritic. So as you know, with this channel, it's not tied to a particular platform, at least anymore. But it's not tied to a particular platform.
Mhm.
And we can talk about things like Xbox and stuff like that. And Psychonauts 2 was reviewed, and they got a decent score. And I'm not saying that it didn't deserve it, but I will say that the game is buggy from what I can see. You can break a lot of stuff, gameplay wise, uh, collision wise, and stuff like that. You have a lot of issues in that regard, and that's just very curious to me that it still got the score that it got. But then you look at a game like Ratchet and Clank, as safe as it is, it doesn't have those particular issues, at least not in the frequency that I've seen. You can just turn on a game and run across issues in general. And just in general, you look at the integrity of Metacritic. Just the integrity of reviews nowadays. Like, we're not talking about being paid off, although that's a thing. That's definitely a thing where people literally get paid off, you know. Um the problem here is that hold on for a minute. You did do your thing here. The problem that I see here when it comes to the Metacritic, um, retweet that shit, okay, is that people just say. I think last week we were talking about clout, or the week before, one of them fucking weeks, or probably before I had my laptop fixed, or I got a new one in general like that. You know, people just say things, and they say things for just to be as controversial as possible, which we'll talk about in our illicit therapy later on. I believe it stems from millennials and how they function. But what do you have to say about reviews, Black?
I mean, I think reviews can be useful, and at the same time, you can't rely on them too heavily. Like, I've been guilty in the past of using reviews to, tell me what games to buy. Most sometimes more than I feel like I should have in the past. But
Mm,
I've become more like, I'm more of an impulse buyer now. I don't give a fuck. Like, I'll just watch out for things like, from being burnt in the past. I watch out with the games as a service games, like the games that clearly require like internet to play and shit like that. Those are the games I'm like wary of. But when it comes to fighting games, I'm like, oh fuck it, I'm buying that. Like, as long as it looks like technical to me and I look like I can have fun and it has some depth in it, I'm gonna buy the fighting game off rip.
I don't believe you, because you know what,
Yeah.
you retweeted the fucking, what is it, the King of Fighters, or something like that.
No, but that I actually found out that shit been in the game. That been in since KOF 14, and I haven't played KOF 14, but people like they felt like that game was still technical. So I don't think that's as easy as we think it is. I think it's
Mm.
just something they say easy, what you call it, but that been in the game since the last game. So I don't think it's anything that's gonna break the gameplay. We're gonna see, because I haven't been a heavy KOF fighter since KOF 13. I didn't buy 14 because I thought it looked like shit. Like they really didn't
Yeah, they didn't
effort
put
in.
there was no
Yeah,
effort, man. I saw that
I
shit. I
know
was
that
like,
was their first game. Well, they've had 3D games in the past before, but this one in particular, they're like, okay, we committed to doing 3D now, but they even said it themselves, like, oh, we're gonna get better. I'm like, oh, I was like, once y'all get that shit looking a little better, then I'll invest into it. Like, this one actually, in terms of graphics, it's on par or looks better than Street Fighter Five. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna give this shit a try now. But before, I was like, y'all didn't get my money for this shit. This game looked like trash, dog. And just
bro.
aesthetically, I was like, I couldn't do it based off of just principle, bro. I was like, man, what y'all niggas doing, bro? You know what I'm saying?
It was like a starter kit.
Yeah, it was just
Starter
like
kit
damn,
characters.
man, like SNK, y'all niggas ain't shell out no money for this game to look a little better, bro.
Uh,
The game looked like it was fun, but I just couldn't. I didn't like the way it looked. I was like, come on,
No,
man, you gotta do better.
there's presentation you still got to worry about. Which, actually,
Yeah,
let me ask you this: in
important
terms of
stuff.
Metacritic importance,
Hmm.
for presentation, right?
Hmm.
Um, Not presentation. I'm sorry, for your Metacritic. What was your Metacritic story where a game got a high ass review across the board, and you weren't feeling it? Not because you weren't feeling it because it wasn't your type of game, but you're like, yo, this looks like some horse shit. Like, this isn't it.
Well, I can't say Metacritic per se that I can recall right now, but I'm just thinking of just basically influencers using their power to say that, hey, this game is good, and then fucking you over. In that case, that's kind of like a review in itself when they do the previews. They're kind of telling you, or you using other people's opinions to sway your opinion. So Cyberpunk is the first thing that comes to mind,
Mm,
because you
mm,
remember
mm,
all of
mm,
those
mm, mm,
influencers
mm,
say, "Oh
mm.
my god, this game is revolutionary! It looks so good! It was so good, so good! Get Cyberpunk with the yellow chairs and shit." Now you can't find one yellow chair in this motherfucker, bruh. And those were some nice chairs, but nobody's showing off them yellow chairs anymore.
Nope, they put that shit right back in the closet. Never
Them
mind.
shit's gone. Nah, bro, if I shield for that shit, bro, I'll be showing up my yellow chair right now. Like, yo, fuck y'all bitches, nigga. like, my
Shit.
yellow chair fly, nigga.
Fly
I'll
as
be
a
sweating that bitch
motherfucker.
right now. Those are
I'm
expensive
so
chairs.
I'm
That
so
brand,
fly.
oh man, that's like a $400 chair, bro. You ever I think it's something Labs or I forgot what it was, but that company that creates those chairs is fucking expensive. I was looking at that before the Cyberpunk chairs even came out. Then when I found out they were making them, I was like, yeah, I need one of those. You know what I'm saying? But Cyberpunk ain't hit me up because I got like 2 followers and shit. You know what I'm saying? But we gonna get there. I'm gonna get in shield territory. But my
I,
bad. Back on topic.
no,
What
I'm
was the
looking.
question again, fam?
No, I'm looking at my collection, right?
hmm
And just so I can get in order. It's just things in order. But you know what? I'm looking at the order too,
Yeah.
and that game got shitted on, like
Right.
hardcore
Right.
got shitted on,
hmm
and it was. I wouldn't say generic, but it was running the mill. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't anything to write like gameplay wise. But then again, I can't really say that either because of the game. The gunplay was pretty damn good though.
Yeah, in retrospect, because we both recently went back to the game and we were talking about, I was like, bruh, like, I think at the time we were so spoiled with the shit that Sony was putting out that we didn't really truly appreciate that game because the shit that came out after it, just the animations in that game, the way the material sway on the character when you're moving around, that shit is fucking top notch, bro. Today,
To this
today,
day, to
to
this
this
day,
day, to this day.
to this day.
On God, that shit looks amazing, bro. Remember, we was looking at this shit and we was like, bro, all they have to do is a FPS bump, my nigga, and a resolution bump. That game don't need no textures and nothing. That shit looks amazing to this day.
I was like, what the fuck? And like I played it, I was like, wait a minute. But you want to know what's
Oh
up?
man.
Here's a controversial shit, right?
hmm
I think the gunplay, honestly,
hmm
was better than Uncharted 4 and some like the shooting. You know what I'm
Oh wow.
saying? And I
hmm
say this because and again, I had it physically. I have that game physically. Somewhere in my apartment, but I don't, I ended up rebuying it again. They got a lot of shit, man. It was a big ass, muscular motherfucker. This nigga looked like he was 215 pounds and 6% body fat. This nigga was broke down, yo, because he was one of the developers. He was like, man, y'all making fun of me. You know what I'm saying? So he was distraught, you
Yeah, I
know.
remember. Andre, what's his name? Andre or forgot his name. I'm mixing them up with the Xbox guy, Andre Pacini. His name started
Yeah.
with a P, I believe, or some shit. Yeah, yeah. But buddy, I remember the big cockswole paws ass nigga. You know what I'm saying? I had to put the paws in this
You
thing.
have to put the pause
Got big
ASAP.
cockswole paws ass. Dude, buddy looked like he was like a fucking strongman champion or some shit.
Yeah, how
So,
you how you how you in a lab with a fucking
I,
a mouse talking about some
yo,
click click.
like I put respect on that nigga. I'm like, this nigga is a dev, and he put that time in the gym at the same time. Like, you ain't fucking with me, nigga. Like, I'm
Hell no, man. He'll fucking
your
hit
ass.
you. Yeah, hit you with that Paul Phoenix, man.
Oh
With
god, that nigga was like, yo, I was like, this nigga a dev on
Paul Phoenix
God.
going poosh, fucking skeet you across the floor and shit.
Facts, bro. Like, y'all niggas complaining about not having time hitting the gym, bro. They like, nigga, them devs, bro.
Shit,
They be working
I had
12
to
hours,
speak. Wait,
bro.
on a side note, I had to speak to my fucking sister about that shit, yo. She talking about
hmm
something. Sometimes people just don't have time to go to the gym. You out of your motherfucking mind. I
Look,
got
man,
two. I got
I
two
need to hit
pod.
the gym too, dog. Like,
No, no,
on
no.
some real
But
shit, like
no,
niggas.
no, no. But you
Look,
admit it.
that's an excuse. I admit that, like, hey, nigga, I could put aside time. I just fucking do other things. Like, people prioritize other shit. You know what I'm saying? So it's
Right.
just you putting what's important to you in your time. Everybody has time. The days do seem short. You know what I'm saying? But you got to prioritize what you want. So if it's whether it's a business, your health, wherever the fuck, nigga, you want to play video games, nigga, that's on you. But don't cry at the end of the day because
Yeah.
everybody don't get the same time, but we all got the same 24 hours. You know what I'm saying?
Yo, Psycho, what's going on, yo? If you can join in, hop in. I'm not no pressure, man. No pressure.
Yeah, jump in,
Um,
cycle.
so let me ask you this then. We already understand that Cyberpunk was one of those games where it was totally like hyped to a fucking it was hyped to the fucking heavens. We got that, right?
Yeah, yeah.
What about games that deserve the higher score but didn't get it? What about that?
Oh man, I mean, it sucks that the sometimes I feel like the scores maybe could be detrimental to those type of games,
Mm-hmm.
to where they don't get the hype or they just download it. I don't know, maybe for some type of for some people got some underhanded purposes for maybe downloading the games. I don't know, man. It sucks. That's why people need to maybe don't look at the scores for too many games. Like some people didn't like the Avengers game, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I believe that game didn't get like great scores. But I'm happy I went ahead and bought that game because I like the single player. I
Well,
feel like I got
you want to know why people didn't like that game on a low because the likeness for the movies weren't in the game. They look
yeah
like
that
rip-offs. What they should have done is
hmm
I understand they wanted that synergy, but they should have just went straight to the comics with the Marvel Cinematic Universe storyline.
right, right.
Like Wolverine should have been all, if he's in there, it should have been all yellows. Everybody should have looked like the comic book, variant.
Yeah,
You know what
man.
I'm saying? And I feel like it would have the game would have reviewed differently. But
That's
some
that.
games get shitted on because of microtransactions. It don't mean it's a bad game. I would go out on a limb to say that Assassin's Creed Origins had some, little microtransactions, but the game itself is a good game. When that didn't get hit. But you want to know what really pisses me off is actually Dying Light got sevens. Sevens.
Oh wow.
Go back.
hmm
The shit got sevens. And it's a good thing. It's a good. I'm so glad I didn't follow the reviews. Like I feel like now the weight for Metacritic has definitely diminished for sure. But here's the kicker: it was one of my favorite games of last generation, and it wasn't just me. It was a lot of people. It was a lot of people that actually loved that fucking game, and they disregarded any type of fucking Metacritic. What happened is that they were pulled in by the game's mechanics. They were like, well, fuck it. I do want to have a game where I'm running away from fucking zombies and I have the dexterity to run away from them. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And then they
hmm
tried it. It was like, oh shit, this is like kind of low key, high key lit. You know what I mean?
hmm
Um, and I'm trying to figure out, why it got bad reviews. Like to me personally, let me ask you, why do you think it got bad reviews?
I didn't experience that game myself. I remember wanting to play it after I saw the trailer that first time, but I don't know what type of red I was in when it came to gaming, but I remember I was in college at the same time. But like when the PlayStation 4 dropped, I had made sure I got one, but I was in school, I was working full time, and I had some side projects too because I was trying to get a business up and running and shit. So I was really busy. But I remember I just didn't have time for video games like I used to around that time. So, but I remember wanting to play the game, but I just didn't end up getting it. So it was just one of those games that I just didn't partake in. You know what I'm saying? But
Well,
it looked like it was cool. I had like the
well,
idea behind the game and everything.
it was and I'm not a big zombie person, but I feel like what ended up happening with that game is that everyone went crazy with the whole like, oh, zombie fatigue. You get this echo chamber that's synonymous with millennials,
Yeah.
where they don't have a mind of their own, which again we'll talk about later. One person will say one thing, and then it will catch like wildfire. Everyone starts saying the same thing. Oh my god, these zombie games. Oh my god, I'm so sick of this shit. This is so corny. The same thing happened with um Dead Island. Dead Island was hyped because of the way that it looked. And I think Dying Light it came out, it was kind of generic, but the
Right.
the trailer was ridiculously good. You know what I mean? It pulled all the heartstrings, for everybody. And going based off of that, I think Sony came out with the fucking with the how can I say it? They came out with the emotional games, emo games, if you will, right?
Mm.
Where it always kind of invoked some sort of emotion, whether it made you laugh or it made you cry. Like I feel like Naughty Dog in general was the kings of this shit, where they made you laugh, and then like The Last of Us really made you fucking cry. You know what I'm saying? With the little girl getting shot, that was, she was innocent because you looked at comedy as being, associated with innocence, and she ends up getting fucked up and in the acting for that one. And I feel like at that time, people were just not into lighthearted games. They weren't
Right.
into it, so the game got fucked in the ass because it was trying to be regular. If you weren't really, really lighthearted, then you don't get shit. Um, I'm looking at my thing here too. Some games deserved it, you know what I'm saying, when it comes to Metacritic. And like you said, sometimes it could be used as a detriment. Some games deserved it. Even though the mechanically, Drive Club was great,
Hmm.
but it came out unfinished. A lot of the stuff didn't even work. And a lot of the stuff that they incorporated when it did work wasn't enough to really, it just wasn't enough. Um, I'm looking at some of the other games that I had before. God of War got shitted on too. God of War 3.
Oh
You
wow.
you know what I'm saying? I mean, graphically, everyone said it was, but they were like, it's kind of like generic and stuff like that, and people just wasn't really feeling it.
I love that game. That shit was amazing.
It was, yeah, that's what I'm saying. When I looked at God of, because comparatively, God of War 2 was just bigger than life, and then you have God of War 3 that came out, and it was like, yeah, the graphics are good, but for some reason it didn't resonate, and they had a lot of mechanics in that game that really just like really took it there. Another game that deserved the low scores was God of War Ascension. That one deserved it. That deserved all the fucking smoke. But then more recently, you look at stuff like The Last of Us Part 2, right? Now, everyone knows my stance. If you know me, you already know my stance about the game. But I'm gonna try to keep this as objective as possible.
Hmm.
It was way too much downtime in that game. Too many walking scenes, not enough gameplay for me. You know what I'm saying? And the pacing was just terrible to me. In terms of the storyline, the storyline pacing was terrible. A lot of plot armor for characters, for no reason. A lot of trying to invoke feeling for no reason. A lot of signaling. Um, Signaling didn't really hurt the game per se, but what did hurt the game uh, was the pacing. I couldn't fuck with it. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Like, I mean, just before we move on to the next topic here, what do you have to say about um, the importance of meta reviews? Like anything that you wanted to say regarding
Uh,
this?
well, we've seen in the we're aware that some of these devs or platform holders, they're using, or even just regular devs, they're using that as a tool to gauge whether, whether or not some of these devs get bonuses and shit. So they find it important, and they think that it's important in some way because of optics. Optics would be important, which it's kind of crazy because like we talked about this shit in the past where like The Last of Us 2 is getting all these awards and then it's like high ass Metacritic, you know what I'm saying? And then it's like then you don't like the game, but like Sony feels like it's important, or at least they're trying to make it feel like it's important because optically it looks really good. But who knows to what effect it's, if it's actually meaning something at the end of the day, because it's all about the cash.
Well,
So
they
we don't
still
know how well
haven't
that game sold.
they haven't said anything about the way that game sold. What we do know
But,
is that
mhm.
game got more price drops than Ghost of Tsushima. That's a fact.
Yeah, that is true.
What
That is true.
reason? I don't know.
Yeah.
So it
Well, no,
looks like they're trying to put it in more hands as possible. You know what I'm saying? At least try to get the numbers up. But they already told you the sales figures of Ghost of Tsushima, and they didn't tell it for what do you call that fucking game from Ben Studios, the zombie game,
Days Gone.
Days Gone. That game supposedly did successful too, but I think it's just associated with, even though it's a new IP, it's just associated with mediocrity. Because that game to me was a great game, had some flaws, but it didn't deserve a 6 for sure. You know what I mean? If you can play Skyrim and have moonwalking dragons and give that shit a 9.5, then you can play
That's
it again.
facts.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
That's facts. That's
But
facts.
that's most of Bethesda games. They get like a hardcore pass with that. But I will say this: I have yet to beat Metal Gear Solid 5 yet. I
Oh yeah,
do.
that's funny, dog. Because I was thinking about the show. I was like, yo, I remember asking you, how did you like? How did you score? Like, if you had to number them, like which ones was the best Metal Gears? I remember asking you, but I don't remember what your answer was when it came
my
to Metal Gear
my
5.
favorite my favorite and I played a little bit of Metal Gear Solid 1. If I were to do that trilogy plus 5 or all right. So the number is I'll answer it. 3 is the top. 3 is the
Think
top.
that. Yeah.
3 is the top. The reason why is because games. It has a lot of gameplay and the systems that they have in there are really really nice.
Hmm.
It's not just crawling into a fucking vent and throwing magazines and cartridges at people and then keeping it moving. Although I did like when you hid in the cupboard and they did a whole sweep and they had like the Kill Bill split screen and you can see all that shit. That was pretty cool, but they took it to a whole new level with the grass and you can use the animals to your advantage and shit like that. You know, I mean, you can knock on the door and run away. And motherfuckers had like patrols. It was really, really crazy what they had. So they took whatever they had in two and they just fucking took that shit to the stratosphere. Even the battles in that particular game, that game got lower scores shockingly than Metal Gear Solid 2. And Metal Gear Solid 3 was way more of a game than 2. So the reviews were affected based off of the times, which is crazy. At the time, they were coming from PlayStation 1 to 2, so everybody was enamored with the graphics. But then when
Right.
everybody got used to the graphics, it was just like, it's not that great. You know what I'm saying? Which I feel like the relevancy when it comes to reviews and shit. And there are some boss battles in the game that were looking at the time and the date of your PlayStation 2.
Oh wow.
The guy's name was The End. He was a sniper and he was old. And there were a
Yeah.
couple ways of actually,
Remember that fight, bro.
what do you say?
I remember that boss fight. That nigga was an asshole, bro.
If you just waited for 1 week without playing,
Hmm.
he would have been dead in the battlefield.
Oh wow. That motherfucker used to fall asleep during fight.
Yeah,
You had to
if
sleep.
you waited
You
for
had to
if
sleep by this motherfucker.
also you can avoid that whole boss battle. There was a cutscene about maybe 4 hours before you actually fought him.
Hmm.
They had Colonel Bogan, they had Eva, you know what I mean? Um, and just a couple of different casts, right? Um, and after the cutscene played off, it goes like the snake. And they start wheeling the guy into the building, the end, because he was in a wheelchair. If you
Right.
sniped him in his head, you will never have to fight that boss.
Oh, that's crazy. I had no idea about that shit.
Shit like that. Also, there was a scene like I was a, this is why I knew how to do the voice. I'm rusty because I haven't done it in a while, but you know, what are you talking about? What do you mean? This is Snake. Otacon, can you hear me? I used to like no that game made me learn that shit. You know what I'm saying? So um one of the things that I was so shocked with when Snake got his ass beat the fuck up. Like I don't like looking at violence. Just like you when I showed you that video where this guy snapped his leg for that fucking. I really don't like that.
Yeah, that's it.
Truth be told, I don't like it. So when I seen that and Snake got his ass beat the fuck down, I wasn't feeling that shit at all. Right. So as soon as the cutscene was over, I was like, that was a little bit too much for me right now. You know what I mean? I mean, call me a pussy, but that was a lot. So I was like, let me just turn this game off and play some Jack and Dexter. You know what I mean? Something lighthearted. I came back, right? And when the game loaded, it wasn't Metal Gear Solid at all. Not at all. It was something totally fucking different. It was a Devil May Cry type game. Whereas the guy that had two hooks, you just you were in the warehouse and you just walked in and you just focused on ripping people's chest open. Like he would turn into a beast. He played a lot like Nago.
Hmm.
He was a regular guy. He would fuck you up or you would fuck everybody up. But he had a meter where he just get it was a beast mode. He would just burst and he would transform and he would stop using his hooks and we would just like run gallop to a fucking enemy, put his hands in the chest and just whoosh, just rip that shit open. Intestines and everything would just come out. I said, what kind of game? I said, what the fuck is this? You do that enough. I mean, it was crazy because I was like, I don't know what the fuck it is. That was the last game I left in there. And I just kept playing. I didn't ask no question. It was like the Matrix. Remember the Matrix where the girl, you know what I mean? They gave her a fucking cake and she ate that shit and she busted a nut. At first, she should have questioned that shit, you know what I mean? But she was like, fuck it. That shit, my bean is tingling, you know what I mean? So she
Damn,
was just like, fuck it. That's
what
how I
Matrix is
was.
happening? I don't recall that shit. Niggas in this bitch with a nut
What
on some
Matrix
cake.
was this? What kind of Matrix?
What
It was.
movie you watching? This nigga watching. That sound like some Pornhub shit, nigga.
It was Matrix Reloaded. It was Neo.
Oh, okay. The animated joints.
No, no,
Was
no.
it
It
real?
was it was
Okay.
a second one. It was a regular with Neo, Trinity, and Morpheus. They want to see the
Okay.
Merovingian, right? So they can see
Yeah.
the architect. And then he came and they went in there and he was trying to explain to Neo that you're not in control. And when it comes down to it, you really don't give a fuck when you're not in control either if it benefits you. That's what he was trying to say. So he gave the finest bitch in this fucking diner a special fucking cake that was designed when you ate it, you automatically orgasmed. At first, her heart started beating quickly, and she's like, "What the fuck is this?" Then she started
I
getting.
don't recall this fucking scene, bro. I seen that movie at least a couple of times. That's crazy. I gotta
You
go back
didn't.
and watch that
You
shit.
didn't see the right one. You didn't see. You didn't
They had
see it.
different versions.
And I'm just
Like
playing.
fucking.
I'm playing.
So you just didn't see the right one. Nah, I definitely saw that movie in the theaters. Damn.
Yeah, that it was uncomfortable. Yeah, but yeah, she stayed. She busted a nut. But that's how it was. Like when I played the game, I at first I was like, "What the fuck is it?" But it didn't. I didn't care afterwards. You know what I mean? I just kept playing it. And after I start playing it, the game faded to black, and then Snake wakes up, and he's like, "Oh, oh, the fuck was that?" You know?
Mhm.
And he ends up using his codec and talking to Sigurd. He was like, "I just had a nightmare. I was something else." You know what I'm saying? So like it's like the game was. To answer your question, Metal Gear Solid 3, Metal Gear Solid 2, because of the storyline that they had. They it wasn't that great in terms of the gameplay was simplistic. By the time I played it, it was games that were doing more than that, right?
Mhm.
Um, but the storyline predicted the stuff that we're dealing with now, right? Metal Gear Solid 1, Metal Gear Solid 5, and Metal Gear Solid 4. I hate Metal Gear Solid 4 with a passion. That would always be, I don't care how many, they could have 17 Metal Gear Solids, they will always be last by default. Just to let you know. It was homage to the series and it didn't make any sense. It wasn't like I felt, and then they did a lot of lies. Kojima said that if you burnt a tree down in the forest in that game, the seeds will come out and fall on the ground and grow and make new trees in this engine of his.
Mm.
They said the cell processor was so powerful that it can alter sound bites. So when you have a glass rolling on a throw out rug, right, onto hardwood floor, it would alter the sound to make it sound like the floor once it rolled off of the rug. None of that transpired. I don't know what the fuck he was talking about, but I know I didn't play it. So fuck him.
So that actually got debunked. All that shit that he promised about the engine and everything.
No one asked anymore. No one asked. I had magazines from decades ago that had that very conversation and interview with that nigga. He was so focused on taking black and white pictures of him thinking. Talking about some, bro, no, no,
Shit.
you can kiss my ass. And then he came out with fucking Metal Gear Solid 5 trying to rival The Last of Us and Grand Theft Auto. It's not that it's a bad game, it's just a game that its mechanics. He had all the ingredients to make a nice cake and it just wasn't arranged properly or cooked well.
Hmm.
That's how I feel like Metal Gear Solid 5 was. You know what I'm saying? Somebody was reeling him in when he went crazy and they weren't present anymore by the time he got to 5. Now I will give him the benefit of the doubt. He needs to make horror games because his creativity is off the fucking scales. It allows him to have the freedom that he wants. Because PT, I will not fuck with that game.
Oh my god, bro.
You played it, right?
Yeah, I didn't beat that shit because it was so fucking scary to me, bro. I got a funny story with PT, man, because I think I got like towards the end of it. I just couldn't figure out the actual last part of it, bro. Like I would always get killed, or I'd be walking around in circles and nothing would happen.
Yeah.
But I couldn't trigger something at the end, but
No,
I
they were trying to make you do something, but man, that
yeah.
bitch was behind me. Some
Oh my god, bro! I remember I made
I said nope.
my first date with my wife. Like I made her play that shit, and I went to go pop some popcorn. She was like, "What the fuck? You let me in this room?" She was
Loki,
so
Loki. That's probably why you got married. That's probably why I got married. That's
bro. I was laughing. So I was like, "Yo, it was just a video."
until you played that shit. Then you
That
saw
was
what
on
they
our
were
first
playing.
date.
Until
That's why
you,
PT is special to me now, because that happened on our first date. I went to go pop some popcorn. It's like, "You left me in this room with this shit." I'm like, "Yo." I'm like, "Yo." And she was like, and she swears she a horror buff. She always, to this day, want to watch scary movies, but she's that person that wake up, "Babe, I'm scared." I'm like, "Yo, why you be watch these horror movies, but you have nightmares and shit?" You know what I'm saying? You scared of the dark type shit. I'm like, "Yo, what the fuck, bro?"
tell me that
Yeah,
didn't scare
it's
you.
just so funny, bro.
Yo, tell me that didn't scare you, right? When you walked in the hallway, you saw that lone bitch in the fucking hallway just standing there.
Oh my god. Is she like, was she like pregnant or some weird shit, bro? She was an odd shaped bitch too, bro. That shit bad body bitch. Jesus Christ. That shit fucked me up.
Oh shit, yo, she was pregnant, but
Mhm.
she it's not aborted, but she miscarried.
Oh, okay, okay.
That's why was that baby in there. Did you get killed
That's
by the
pregnant shit.
did you get
Yeah.
killed by her?
I don't recall, bro. It was
I would
wild. I got it.
never
I
see
got it a couple of times.
there's
Yeah.
certain things
It
that
happened.
scared the shit out of me, right? I'm
Mhm.
sitting there, the ambiance in that game was through the fucking roof. They had that radio playing 4, 5, 6, 8,
That shit was
5. I
freaky,
said,
bro.
what the fuck?
Can you imagine
Then
that
they were
fucking
talking,
demo
they were
with 3D audio, bro? Because I played that shit.
bro, nope,
I shit,
no, nope,
that
nope.
shit. I couldn't play that game today, bro.
Then she was like, then they were like
Oh,
this.
yeah.
There was like the father. There was like the father was in the room, and
Yep.
he told the girl to hide and don't touch the tap.
Yep.
Don't trust the tap water. I said, what the fuck is happening?
Yeah, bro, this shit was, bro. I remember I
It
had the only way I was playing that demo. My best friend, Miguel, had to be in the room when I was playing, and he come over like, "Yo, bro, we gotta play this PT demo." I was just, "You ain't gotta play, just sit here." He was like, he didn't want to play this shit because he was like, "Man, fuck that, bro." I was like, "All right, Justin, just sit there." I'm gonna play it. You know what I'm saying? But I wouldn't play that game if somebody was in the room with me, like it was my cousin, or I go, or when I'm with my wife Kim on the day, I was like, "Yo, I want to play this. I want you to play this since you said you like horror games." So I made her play that shit, and she didn't, whatever I said happened. So,
the fuck is
but yeah,
that?
that game, right? I like. I don't know. I lost my. When I was a kid, I used to love those horror movies and all that
No,
crazy shit.
you
As I
didn't
got older,
play.
bro, that shit
You
fucked me
didn't,
up, bro.
man.
I can't do it,
I'm gonna
bro.
tell you this, man. That shit was like, and the husband walked in the room and he told the girl to hide, and he shot her too. Don't trust the tap water. I
Bro, when you
said,
look through
huh?
the peephole, wasn't there like a peephole? You look through the
Yeah, there was
damn
a peephole, but then he said this
bathroom.
too. Then they said this
Yeah, man.
as the radio was playing. They were like, "Yo," they was like, "I said," they was like, "Look behind you." I said, "Huh?" I
Yeah, I
said,
remember
"Look
that.
behind you." I
Yeah,
turned
no.
around, that bitch grabbed me
Uh,
by the fucking face. I said,
yep.
"Nope, nope, we're turning this all the way off. All of it is off." And I played Silent Hill. Silent Hill to me destroyed Resident Evil because it just was better to me. It was a better game, right?
Hmm.
That bullshit of a fucking game was out of control, man. When I first played Silent Hill 2, they have like 4 endings, right? But the stuff, I knew the game was. I'm a fucked up mind in terms of like imagination, so I can handle a lot of things. But I knew something was up when fucking the dude walked into the room. Right, he walked to this apartment. It would play the cutscene, and it was Pyramid Head fucking a pair of stitched up legs.
What?
This is back in 2001. It
That
was
nigga was beating that shit up?
he was I'm gonna show you this shit after with this podcast. It was a lower torso, right, where the belly button was, and then flipped. It was another. It's like he took two lower torsos and stitched it together. And his motherfucker had that shit on the ledge, the edge of the fucking kitchen sink, and was fucking it.
Bruh.
It was so disturbing that your main character instantly, he just instinctually shot that shit. He just kept shooting it. So the game kept going on, and it's more fucked up shit, more fucked up shit. You realize that um the dude, basically the guy's wife died, right? The guy's wife died, and he was over it. But then he gets a letter from his wife telling him some meet me at that special place. So
Right.
obviously, what the fuck is this? He goes over there. This dimension that is called Silent Hill is purgatory. There was a one bitch that lived over there because I guess this town called many people. This girl was like, he walked into this building, it was on fire. He was like, "Yo, watch out for the fire." She was like, "What fire?" He was like, "The fire all around you." She was like, "Oh, it's always like this with me."
Hmm.
He was like, "What?" She was like, "It's around here. It's always like this." She got burned alive in her apartment, so that was her purgatory.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, "Well, what?" Anyway, you meet a girl that looks just like your main character's wife, except that she was sluttier. And instead of her name was being Mary, her name was Marie, and she was trying to save her the whole time. And Pyramid Head would stop him. What you end up finding out in this purgatory, right, is that the dude really didn't like his wife. He didn't like her. She was too prude. She didn't want to give up the pussy. I kid you not. I'm not playing. She didn't want to
Damn.
give up the pussy. She was too prude. And what his mind did is envision her the way he wanted her to be, which is
Right.
slutty. And Pyramid Head was his sexual frustration. This is hence the reason why he had a big ass phallic sword.
Hmm.
That was his torment. And you realize that she was about to die. She was terminally ill. And she told him, she was like, "James, look at the fucking tape. Look at the tape." The tape showed that he killed her and got away with it. He was like, "Yo," he was like, "What do you want me to do? You don't do anything. I don't like this." So she was like, "Just kill me." The motherfucker took a pillow and smothered her
Hmm.
and went on about his life and forgot about it. Like he took it out of his mind. And so when he found that out and the memories were awakened, this dude killed himself. Roll credits.
That's fucking crazy. I had no idea that was the storyline for Silent Hill 1. I didn't play
I
it.
Silent Hill 2. I said, up.
Oh,
I
two?
said, you know
Yeah, I
what? I
didn't play
said, you
that one
know
either.
what? I said, you know what? I'm done for the games for the day. That was just too heavy for me.
That's
Too.
fucking crazy,
I
bro.
was 13, man. I was like, that is way too heavy for me.
That shit's amazing, dog. Damn,
I
dog.
went outside and played, man. I tried to enjoy life, man. That was too. I said, what kind of a fucking? They showed him. He was like, I know what to do now. You know what I mean? I'm gonna right my wrongs. I don't feel like I need to be here anymore. This motherfucker drove off a fucking cliff. They played the fucking guitar, that guitar
Konami
solo.
really fell from grace, bro. Them niggas really don't fucking put
Man,
out games no more, bro. Them boys
man,
was
that shit make me sick to my fucking stomach. But
that was doing some crazy shit back in the day, bro.
man, games in general was just pushing the envelope like hardcore, man. Oh, I can't wait to talk about these millennial subjects because we don't do it anymore. Either way, we're gonna move on to the next subject, which is called fanboys playing Twitter. So let me just preface this conversation, this topic, by saying, fuck all y'all motherfuckers that are going to quit Horizon Zero Dawn 65th in 15 minutes just so you can post small ass videos of, oh my God, look at the quality of Sony. Sony can only deliver this. And then you just give up on the game because you didn't really want to play games. You know what I mean? You just wanted to show off and play Twitter. Shout out to you. Shout out to also the people that played that boring ass fucking flight simulator game that you've never fucking touched in your fucking life ever. But you wanted to sit there and play it because of the Metacritic stated that it was a good game. Shout out to you.
Mm,
Shout out to you.
mm,
Lawrence,
God.
what is really happening with these fanboys?
Oh man, bro. I don't know. It's definitely some people out there. Well, there's a lot of people out there that the fucking post gameplay. They like all right, so we talked about this the people or because we talked about the 60 FPS patch and people reasoning behind wanting it and shit, you know what I'm saying? So
Hmm.
there's definitely people who just want it because console wars. You know what I'm saying? So they just want something that's like, oh yeah, it's like almost like a trophy. Like, yeah, we got this too at 60 FIPS. You know what I'm saying? But then then there's definitely a lot of people that just want the frames, of course. You know what I'm saying? So it's I don't know, man. I I don't
Like
I
what?
don't I
Like
don't
what?
know.
What world are we living in?
It's crazy, dog, that there's people out there that just want that shit just for that, bro. I mean,
You don't even
fuck
play
them niggas.
games. People are more on Twitter. You spent all this money to get a PS5 and or Series X. All that money to be on Twitter more than the console.
Mm.
That is just so interesting to me. It's just fascinating. The mindset, the psyche. That is so interesting. You and 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 Kevin Samuel's word. You can't make this shit up, man. You
You
can't.
can't make this shit up.
You can't make this shit up. You can't make it up. Niggas is on Twitter more than your $500 console. Niggas
I
is
mean,
niggas is
nigga,
buying games that they not even playing. Then complain about, oh, Sony is supplying me. We eating out here. But you didn't open the game. Nigga talking about some, oh, Ratchet and Clank. You want to take pictures real quick. I want to take pictures of Ratchet. Look at these graphics. Or you got the other side of the team finding the most asinine area where the grass don't wiggle. So I was so, oh my God, niggas. Then you look at like it has to be a full-time game and gambling system. Like I feel
mm,
like Sony just needs to make a game that's called Console Wars, yo, that allows you to interact with social media. Like just say fuck it and just do it. You know what I'm saying? Niggas have a Series X and then purchased a fucking PS5 to find flaws in it. That is unreal to me.
yeah, it's kind of sad. That's sad. I mean, I don't know. The fact that we even talk about this shit, it's just dumb, bro. Like I don't know. I ain't got the time or energy for that shit, bro. That's just stupid, bro.
Bro, the only time I go on Twitter is to find subjects for my podcasts. That's
Hmm.
it. And I'm not looking for inflammatory subjects. I'm looking for leaks. You know what I mean? Or I'll go on Twitter for if something's about to happen. I'm about the games that I fucking play. Are you not, Larry?
Yeah, man. I mean, I'm always looking to talk about video games in depth. You know what I'm saying? So if it's a video game that I'm playing, I'll probably post some footage of what I'm playing to like get a conversation going. It don't really work half the time because nobody wants to talk about games, the actual game, or things going on inside the game. It's just more like what's going on with the industry type shit, or what patch dropped, or what game got delayed. It's always some dumb shit like that. You know what I'm saying? It's never really about the damn games. So when I post my shit, does really either just sharing. Oh damn, I thought that was cool in this game. You know what I'm saying? Well, that's what at least what I try to keep it as. I come to war a little bit on there and shit, but that's like the meantime in between time. I be at work half the time. You know what I'm saying when I'm on Twitter and shit. You know what I'm saying?
It's funny
But
because I am more centric in PlayStation stuff.
yeah,
But you rarely see me talk about some console war shit. That's for sure.
hmm,
I'll retweet unrelated topics rather than gaming shit. That's what I would do.
right.
And I buy the games that I want to fucking play or I have interest in. That's what I buy. I'm not buying it for clout. I'm not buying that shit because Metacritic told me to buy it. I'm buying it because it legitimately looked interesting. I've made so many mistakes in the past by picking up fucking games Because I'm thinking like unanimously, you have 89 reviewers, right? Giving this game a fucking 10. So it's like, it has to be good, right? Red Dead Redemption. No, that ain't it. That wasn't it. But you will get people that will pick this shit up, and contrary to how they really feel internally, contrary to that, right?
Mm.
They will force themselves to like it, or they will force themselves to say, I mean, it's a good game. I just didn't get around to playing it.
Mm.
You
It's a
have
good game. I just don't like it enough to play it.
you will buy it. Yeah, that shit got crazy. Or they will play. They will. I've seen this shit too. They will go out, play the game, look around, fuck with the snow, fuck with the rain, fuck with the water physics, fuck with the physics, make a clip, put it on social media, and then never to be played again. Sony is the kings of graphics. PC Master Race will never touch the greatness.
Mm.
I'm not looking for nobody's trophies. I'm not. I couldn't care less about your trophies. I don't even care about trophies really. Me trying to platinum Returnal is for me
Right.
because I know that the developers sees these platinums. And I want you to know that I thoroughly enjoyed that fucking game. That's why I platinum games, not my score. I want the developer to know that I thoroughly like the game, just like I put in 1,000 hours in Horizon Zero Dawn. I want you to know that I platinum that shit without reading any kind of manuals or whatever the case is.
It's funny you say that shit, bro. Because remember I told you I was like, I was like heavy into like fighting games only type shit, bro. I
Mhm.
could have cared less, dog. 2 years ago, if you told me about some trophies, like I don't. Bro, I already told you what a fucking like dipshit asshole I was, dog. When it came to like video games, bro, I didn't respect trophies, nigga. You had to show me how you played in a game, what your skill was. That's what mattered to me when it came to video games, because I come from that arcade area, bro, era where it's like, yo, let's fight. You know what I'm saying? Or let's show me what you got, what's your score in this game. That's where
Show
I'm.
your
That's
moves.
that was yeah. Show me your moves, like nigga. Let's fight. Fuck all that shit you talk. I don't like all that shit talk shit. Like nigga, yeah, let's shit talk, but let's play the game and then shit talk after you beat me type shit. You know what I'm saying? That's where I'm from, dog. I'm from that arcade area, dog. Like Street Fighter, nigga. Whatever it is we playing, nigga. Mortal Kombat Ultimate 3, nigga. Like what it is, nigga. Like that's where I'm from. So when niggas we talk about that trophy shit, I didn't understand like trophies. What the fuck them trophies, nigga. That shit don't mean nothing. That just means that you put a lot of time into a game. I guess it means that you're committed to some shit, that you have the perseverance to go on. If anything, but I didn't really get, like I told you, my first plat was Ghost of Tsushima. I didn't care about them shits at all. All of my time on PlayStation, bro. Most of the time, me playing video games was me playing local, going to a friend's house to go kick his ass. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what I do. Or go to the tournaments, the weekly tournaments. You know what I'm saying? By the in the arcade at my job. You know what I'm saying? On Xbox 360. A lot of my shit. The PS3 era, most of my time was playing Xbox 360 unknowingly because I had to, because that's what the arcade used. They didn't have the cabinet. They had like a makeshift cabinet with an Xbox 360 because they felt like the Xbox 360 had better lag time or less lag time than the PS3 when it came to Street Fighter 4 or whatever fighting game we were playing. It just that was the go-to console for input lag. So it's crazy, though. So when niggas look back at your trophies and that shit don't show everything, bro. Not if it depends on what type of gamer you were. In the PS3 era, I wasn't the gamer that be online playing video games. I fucking hated playing fighting games online. That shit was ass. There wasn't really any good fighting games with good online.
With Netcode, yeah.
Yeah, it
Netcode
was
was
always
trash.
for me. It
As
was
a
I
matter of
like
fact,
fuck online,
multiplayer
nigga. Like
games,
nigga,
multiplayer games,
mm-hmm.
multiplayer games were trash because of input
Bruh,
latency. Or I'm sorry,
I didn't get into playing online until PlayStation
netcode.
4. Yeah,
Right,
fact.
because back
Netcode was
then
trash,
it
bro.
was like lag. It was to the point where I had to do research on what the fuck actually is lag. Why
Mm-hmm.
is it not work? Why is it? Why am I shooting? Why did you die after I shot you in the head 5 seconds later? Why did that happen? You know what I mean? That's what I was trying to fucking figure out, and found out. I found out exactly what it was.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, okay, so they do this as predictive natures and all other bullshit, you know. And niggas is showing off their trophies on Twitter like that shit means something. It doesn't. It doesn't mean a damn thing, at least to me. All it shows is that because you can go online and fucking and follow the fucking instructions and get a platinum. My friend has like 50 platinums.
Right.
Why? Because he went online and did like a strategy guide. I don't care about that shit. Mm-mm.
Yeah, I mean, if that's something that you're proud of, or it's a game or a feat, like before, I even caught myself going to get platinums just to get platinums at some point, and I was like, man, this is dumb, man. It's a waste of time. You end up trying to beat games that you don't fucking care for. But when I beat Ghost of Tsushima, it's because I wanted that because I fucking loved that game. And you called me out the other day. You was like, nigga, it's because you a fucking weeb. You know, I was like, you know what?
You're
You
right.
right.
You're
I
right.
was waiting for the Assassin's Creed game that was set in Japan because I wanted to be a fucking ninja, nigga. Like, on God, nigga, samurai, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wanted that experience, nigga. So I told you I didn't fuck with open world games like that because like it just not wasn't my type of game. Like I liked Assassin's Creed Black Flag as much as I like that game. I didn't finish it because it was just I get lost into it. Like you know what I'm saying? I got that ADHD shit. I don't know what the fuck it is, bro. But I get bored easily, and sometimes if I got too much to do, I go do it. I'm like, yeah, that shit was good. Let me go get some Street Fighter in. You know what I'm saying? I need that quick fix. I need that pat 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 pat. That's why I play fighting games.
Pause.
I need to. I get like 40 games in to play 100 games, but I need that adrenaline. And sometimes I just feel like I don't get that from. I think it's I don't get that adrenaline rush from open world games. Neither here nor there, but like yeah, just damn, I forgot where I was getting to my point. I lost myself. But yeah, like I was saying, the when it comes to the damn, what we were talking about again, Doug? That's what I was saying.
Platinums.
I'm all
Platinums.
over the place. Okay, so yeah, with the platinums, though, it's like they don't really matter unless okay, I was talking about the importance of them. I stopped going for those games that I didn't care about because it's like what a fucking waste of time. So when I go and get the Guilty Gear Platinum, I wanted that platinum because I saw how hard it was to get, and it
You
made me
had
feel
to. You
good
had
about
to have
myself.
one. You had to.
I,
You had to have
I
want that platinum.
yes, I wanted that shit because I was like, yo, I looked at the rarity of that bitch. I was like, I need that on my resume. On God, on God. You know what I'm saying? I mean, everybody's gonna have that. I said, let me go get that platinum. And I saw how hard Nagaruki was. Pause. How difficult it was to beat that motherfucker. I was like, yo, even with this, I was looking up guides and everything to fight this motherfucker, and I couldn't beat this nigga. I was like, bro, what am I not doing? But using that guide was a tool to help me understand what the fuck CPU was thinking, but you still had to perform it. That shit is still ridiculously hard, nigga. To this day, my homeboy was like, yo, why you ain't post the gameplay? I was like, bruh, I don't know what happened in my PlayStation 5 at the time, but I wanted to and I wanted to post that shit, but I only got the screen cap of the actual trophy popping. I didn't actually get the video. And you know, I've been collecting them shits. And I put them in my thread. I have a thread on Twitter where I post my plats for games that I love, and I've been doing that for all the games this year that I got on Plats. So it's just a little, it's kind of like a mini game in itself for me. I'm trying to see how many I can get from beloved games that I like.
And you do it for
So
and you do it for you.
just
That's
something like
that's
yeah,
that's the
yeah,
most
it's just
that's the
make
most
things
important
make it
thing.
interesting for myself. You know what I'm saying? This is like a challenge to myself.
I still have to take
A
you up on that
project.
Returnal offer. You know, what I
Mm-hmm.
mean, like we were saying, we gotta play Returnal again
Mm-hmm.
and try to beat the game on whatever stipulations that we set. I want to
Yeah.
platinum the game.
Mm-hmm.
And now that I'm playing it, that Frozen Waste is a bitch. That's a bitch.
Oh yeah. First, are you talking about what is it called? The fractured waist? Is it
Fracture
fractured waist?
Waste. Fracture
Yeah,
Waste.
fractured waist. Yeah, that's what it's called.
That's just a bitch. I said, oh hell no, man. I'm
That's
echoing.
probably my least favorite biome, bro.
I'm
Like on
echoing right
God,
now.
you are.
Let me say hello. Yeah, I don't know why I'm like echoing a lot.
Maybe my headset's too loud. Let me see.
It just started
Yeah,
happening now, which is weird.
yeah. I didn't change anything.
I know.
So I'm putting my volume down now. Is it better now?
Let me see. Yep.
Okay, I think my headset was probably too loud.
I don't know why that was weird, but yeah, man. Like it's just funny. I feel like people need mental help. Now I'm not knocking your, I'm not knocking your hustle. If that's what you like, you can't sit there and call yourself a gamer and you don't play games.
Mhm.
That's the problem. If you don't play games and you're on Twitter more than you actually playing games, like you're gonna see me. Like I play the games the way I want to play it, which is like what 30 minutes to an hour, typically. That's how I play games.
Mhm.
That's how I do it. I don't give a fuck about how anyone plays games. My other friend, he could play a game for 7 hours straight. I can't do that. I can't do that. 4, I could do that. Not 7. It's too fucking long. But I feel like there are a lot of game fanboys that are not gamers at all. That shit is fucking shocking to me, yo. Like it goes both ways too. That's the funny thing. It goes both ways.
That's for sure.
I will say this: I don't see no fucking Nintendo people do this shit. The motherfuckers is in boarded up wherever the fuck they be boarded up. They don't be on fucking Twitter and shit like that. They play their little game. They have the
Nintendo
little
niggas
games
play
that
their
they
games,
play.
huh?
Huh?
That's on facts. Like Nintendo's for the Nintendo niggas play their games, huh?
They
Ain't
don't
nobody
be on.
fanboying for Nintendo and don't play their games.
You don't hear
That
about
would
them.
be the ultimate loser. It's
But
like,
you don't hear about. But do you?
you,
But do you hear about them?
no, you don't hear about these niggas. Like these niggas really about their games. So like, respect to them, the Nintendo niggas. I can't do it because I don't like that type of games anymore. Every now and then I might feel a little nostalgic and go support Pokemon or whatever, or just But I don't really fuck with Nintendo like that no more. I've tried getting back into Nintendo games, and just I'm not there as a person anymore to get into their type of games. But
Their
everybody
their
everybody got
quality is not as good as it used to be. Truthfully, it's just not. They used to be really. They used to be about their quality. Like I don't think they're. I don't think they're capable of making uh Ocarina of Time.
The thing is that tripped me out with Nintendo, bro, is like they fully capable and they got like some of the most creativity when it comes to just their IPs and shit. But the fact that we don't have a Mario game that looks as good as Ratchet and Clank, or they not trying to push the
They
envelope
can't
when it comes
though.
to that,
They can't
it kind
though.
of pisses me off.
They can't
Like,
though.
why not though? Like they've been in the game for a
The
long
hardware
time,
won't
bro.
allow it.
That's what I'm saying. They don't like even when it comes to that. That's why I don't fuck with Nintendo. They don't even try with their consoles anymore. They just about fuck it, nigga. Like we're gonna use this 2 generation old fucking chip, and we're gonna put in like they ain't even competing on that standpoint. So yeah, they can't, but they didn't put themselves in a position to where they can try because they don't want to because it's more risk involved with all that shit.
Yep,
You know what I'm
they
saying?
looking at sheer profit. So when you hear
They
people
don't
talk
care
about
about nothing but money, dog. Nobody
when
calling
you
out on
hear
that shit.
about nope, when you hear about Sony talking about some they don't like Japanese people. I mean, okay, all right. You
Yeah,
know
man.
what I mean? Like I'm like okay. I mean, all companies care about money, but you
Yeah.
know, and things you're gonna have to move with the times. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what Sony's doing. I mean, now Sony's probably gonna move more towards co-op or multiplayer type games. That's just the reality of it. But I do think we've exhausted this particular because it was never going to be like a long topic. It's just kind of giving awareness to the frivolity of people. Speaking of the silliness of people, I really appreciate everyone that has showed up regarding this podcast. So thank you so much. I really appreciate it, whoever it may be. If you catch it late, I appreciate you finding it. Definitely give it a like, a retweet, or whatever the case is. I will definitely appreciate that. Now, if you are new to this podcast, you would know that there are 2 gaming topics and 1 off topic. In today's off topic, illicit therapy sub topic would be millennials. And I deliberately structured this show to have all of this tie in because I believe that millennials are the problem with a lot of fucking things. Millennials, Gen Zs, all of the motherfuckers are the problem. They are the most narcissistic groups of people I've ever seen, the most entitled and just I've never seen such. It's ridiculous. How do you feel about being a millennial, Lawrence?
Um, you know, my ignorance when it came to millennials, I remember at some point in my life, I used to hear the word millennial. I'm like, yo, those fucking millennials. I didn't even know I was one. You know what I'm saying?
Nigga was a
That's how
millennial
that's
the
how
whole
much I
time.
hated millennials, bro.
That nigga
At
was a
some point.
fucking
I was a self hater and I didn't even know it. I'm like, damn, hold up, I'm a millennial. You know what I'm saying? By definition, I'm a part of that fucking group. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know, man. It's just we I guess the millennials are a victim of their times, bro, or some of them, or most of them are. You know what I'm saying? They the millennials by definition, we grew up a certain way, bro. We didn't grow up like the generation before us. And shit, the generation after us, I feel like is even more fucked up. Maybe
Yeah,
because of us. You know what I'm saying? They even more entitled than us.
they've been sold a fantasy that we deserve shit and we don't. None of the shit that we experience we deserve. Nobody deserves
We the
anything.
generation that fucking hated the generation before us, because
They
we
all
felt like
do. We all
better.
do. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
and
But I look at my old ass fucking sister slash aunt. Now I say this because my grandma
mhm,
adopted me, so and she
yeah.
had kids, so that's how that went. If in case you wanted to know why that was like that, but
Hmm.
she was so upset with our mom that she was like, "I'm not gonna raise my kids this way," and so she was so lenient with her own kids. Her kids is slapping her in her ass. You got a fat ass, mom. Mind you, we are black. So
Oh man, bro.
her husband is Italian. He's like, hoo, 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 hoo. Absolutely not, man. I would have did some fucked up, freaky ass shit like that and would have been instantly dead.
Mm-mm-mm.
Not even beat down. Y'all. I just would have. Man, my soul would have been evicted from my body doing some shit like that. You know what I'm saying? That shit ain't funny. The traits of millennials is just like I said, they're narcissistic typically. Um,
Yeah, yeah.
it's all about how they feel. They're the most emotional bunch of fucking people I've ever seen, and they have little fucking regard for life. I just saw something in Jacksonville, Florida, right, where the girl, black chick, this is what the if in case anybody wanted to know, she cheated on her boyfriend. Her boyfriend, which had he had two kids. He was like, I'm good with that, man. No, come on, please. I mean, why you gotta be a bitch? I just made one fucking mistake. That's how you feel, though. On God, right? He said,
Mhm.
"That's cool. I'm just over it. I'm not gonna do it." She rolls up to his job. He was like, "What'd you say? What'd you say?" So we done? We done? I tell you when he's done. Bam, bam, bam. Killed him. And then went on Facebook Live and was like, "On God, if anybody have a problem, I'll do you too." So she got arrested. That's the
Damn.
generation that we had. Our stupid ass generation just for clout. So it's funny how all these subjects always kind of intertwine. For clout, you niggas is crawling up fucking milk cartons and breaking your fucking shins. Old ass fucking grandmas are twerking. What the fuck is happening?
Mm-mm-mm.
No kind of respect. You do anything for the fucking gram, anything at all for any kind of attention. And then turns around and you are the most entitled pieces of shit I've ever seen. That's what I feel like. The whole gaming industry is in danger because of these people. This bitch went on fucking Twitter or whatever the fuck it was, TikTok, whatever it was, telling some I demand easier games because I suck at them. The fuck?
Mhm.
Because you're just so entitled. You know what? I feel like all of our games need to cater to every single body, heterosexuals, LGBT, transgender, handicapped, everybody. The niggas have fucking shoulders. That's all they have is shoulders. We need to make a game for them too. Motherfuckers have no arms. Oh, that's fucked up. That's real fucked up.
That's a little fucked up.
That's real fucked up.
I mean, we don't. That's why they're creating like controllers and shit. You know what I'm
You
saying?
can if the person without
Like
any
it
arms,
shouldn't
if
have
a
to change
person
shit.
without any arms, here's the difference.
Hmm.
If they really wanted to play a game so badly, if it was a generation before us, they would find a way to play it without any complaints. Would they not?
Right. I mean, yeah, there'd be cases where they would try to find, but some people are. I'm okay with the accessibility as long as it helps the people achieve what they couldn't do before, but not to the point where it's like changing the game. Like maybe shit like colorblind lists and shit like that. That's
See,
all
and
cool.
now you understand what I'm
That's fire.
saying. Now I'll let you understand what I'm saying.
No, I was always with you,
But
but I just
again,
like like
what I'm saying, and I'm just
yeah.
saying for people that don't understand what I'm saying,
Hmm.
too soft, soft,
Kobe,
Kobe,
soft,
soft,
soft head shake, soft,
soft. Shit had me dying.
soft.
Soft as fuck.
Shit,
That
epic.
somehow that's insulting for somebody.
Yeah,
It is the equivalent for somebody that's just not as dexterous as somebody that plays fighting games for 10 years. You find a way, or it's not for you. What the fuck were we doing before when you were colorblind? What was going on? You know, the problem is that everybody wants a pat in the back for doing something. Look at me. I made accessibility. I see all for just fucking accolades and clout. No one else is doing it for something that is so minuscule. The
yeah,
odds of somebody playing something like that that is in that condition is so rare. Niggas don't even want to learn how to play fighting games, and I'm guilty of this shit too.
mhm,
I never did though ask for the game to be easier. I never did that.
right.
I just chucked it up as it's not for me. I'm not entitled. I don't expect the developers to make the shit for me. I put in the time if I want to play it and be competitive. I need to get up and put in the fucking time. It is not going to do it for me. And now everybody is forced to do it because they're trying to one up each other. And it's mutating our games to some shit that we have to deal with now.
Yeah, and I think we really are. I mean, the games industry is getting bigger and bigger, but I'm starting to get to the point where like we starting to get games where I feel like it's like the like I talked about it when it came to Ratchet and Clank, right? Like, but the like I fucking love the I'm a late bloomer when it comes to the like Ratchet and Clank series and shit. But what I played, I loved, and that shit had me super excited for the new game. And the new game was something totally different from what I experienced. And I'm like, yo, what the fuck was y'all thinking, bro? And I know why they made those moves, and I guess they making more money from it, but I'm like, bro, you're gonna lose my money, bro. I'm not gonna I really don't even dog. If they come out with another game and the new Ratchet and Clank play like this shit, and they don't fucking like they trying to make it about they trying to it's all about the sales,
I'm gonna need
and
a demo.
you're not hitting those notes for me, bro.
I'm gonna need a demo.
Like yeah, nigga, I need a demo, bro. Like look, I love
Or I'm gonna need to
Ratchet and
see
Clank was fire.
a video.
Let me preface this shit with this. Ratchet and Clank to me is fucking amazing, right? It's an 8.0 on my book, right? Some people gonna disagree with that, whatever, bro. That's just my take. The game is amazing technically. It looks beautifully, bro. You know what I'm saying? But the game feels empty as fuck to me, bro. As a person who played 2016 into the Nexus and some of Crack in Time, those games to me felt way different. The characters were more lovable. Like, I know Rivet's cute and shit, and all these. They got the new robot Clit, whatever her name is. She's cool. She's lovable, but like I didn't feel like me and that's funny because look, me and that nigga that guy Ken or dishonorable gamer. Shout out to him, dog. He was streaming and I hate to do this comparison. He was streaming the Psychonauts 2 yesterday,
Mhm.
and I was like, wow, look at the mechanics in this game. Look how creative the mechanics in this games are. I was like, bro, this shit. I kept on trying to bait him into saying that this shit better than Ratchet and Clank. He's like, is it? But it's funny that we actually had that conversation. I was like, yeah, the game isn't better, but in some ways it does things better than Ratchet and Clank, and it's because they had these mechanics in the game which made the game interesting. I was playing Ratchet and Clank, and as beautiful as it is, bruh, I wasn't having fun at times when I was playing that game.
Nope.
I was just playing through a beautiful game, but to me, the game wasn't fun
It wasn't. It
because, like,
wasn't. What you were
what we
looking
talked
at
about,
a. You were looking at a
yeah,
pretty corridor.
I was looking at a very beautiful game the whole time, and it did some technically amazing shit when it comes to the loading and all that crazy shit. But once that wore off, I'm just playing through the game, and I ain't gonna lie though, I was bored at times, and that's because I feel like they took things out of the game, which made me like the characters less. Like they fucked up. That's just my bias, of course, but like they didn't do things like the character progression could have been a lot better. People talk about it all the time. Why wasn't Clank different from Rivet? You know what I'm saying? Why doesn't this character like upgrade to where they get like, yeah, he has some skills, but they basically gave you those skills as the progression went on. You didn't have to earn those skills, or you wasn't able to develop that character in a different way. It's just auto upgrades and shit like that. There
And
weren't
that,
they
and
had character builds based on the armor, but it
let me
wasn't
pause you
really
on
that.
this one. Let me pause you on this one.
Yeah. Hmm.
This is what I'm talking about when a game mutates because of entitlement. You get
Yeah.
offended about a game. See, what is it? Mr. What is it? Mr. Zircon? What is it?
Mr. Zircon.
Mr. Zircon. Mr. Zircon is saying offensive things. He needs to be. That's the type of mutation that I'm referring to. That you feel entitled. That everything needs to fucking cater to you. And me and that guy Ken, or Ken and Dishonorable, we had the conversation. I told him before he even got the game. I said, "Yo, I think Psychonauts is more interesting than Ratchet and Clank." What did Ratchet and Clank do? It didn't do anything to me. It's not The Last of Us Part 2. So you can't say I'm biased in that regard. But I played the other Ratchet and Clanks, and this is like and mechanically, it was less. You have all this power. You know what would have been cool? If it was a living, breathing world, right? It don't have to be big, but let's say that you needed to go from one place to another. You had to wave down a taxi. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Or if you hit an AI person, or they had cops and shit like that, you had to do stealth. You know what I mean? Like when the first area you go into, and you can't just be blatantly like that. You just could run back and forth. There was no consequence whatsoever. Just encounters, fixed encounters. You know what I'm saying? Because again, I'm afraid that I'm gonna make a game too hard, right? I'm gonna make it too difficult, and somebody's not gonna like it. That's the bullshit. And getting off of games, the entitlement is through the roof, and everywhere we go,
Hmm.
people, how you gonna be entitled? How you gonna be um selfish as fuck, but then you want a white knight at the same time? How that work?
Hmm.
I don't really give a fuck about what you're doing, but so that's why when people talk about injustices for black people, especially if they're white, and you can sit there and see a cop either beat the shit out of a black guy or kill him, right? And you say that he shouldn't have ran. And the same lips or lack of lips, you sit there and say, uh, poor doggy, poor doggy, he should be hung for slapping his dog with a newspaper. That's what we're doing. But you don't
This,
care about
this is
you.
the thing.
This is the
This
thing.
actually happened.
Hmm.
Wow, bro.
He needs death. How can you abuse a dog? When you see a
What?
black person get killed, then it's their fault. They shouldn't have ran.
Yeah.
Or why don't you do your duties and get that vaccine, right? Get that vaccine. Inject yourself with that vaccine. for the good of mankind. Did you give a fuck about me when I was looking for Lysol last year? Did you care about that? When I couldn't wipe my fucking ass and had no toilet paper for 2 months? Did you care about that too? Oh no, you sold that shit at a profit, didn't you? Because of entitlement. You don't give a fuck. No, this is artificial. All the stuff that you see on social media is another part of fucking millennials. All the stuff that you see on social media, all that white knighting.
Mm.
I care about BLM. I care about. I wanna have a parade, not parade, but I want to have what do you call that shit again? When a protest for all our black people. More white people was in the protest than black people.
Mm.
So you can go on social media and take pictures that you did it, and so you can look better. That type of shit.
Now, with all of this said, bro, millennials get a bad rap, dog, for being entitled and all this crazy shit.
Fuck
But
that
at the
shit.
same
That's
time,
real. It's real.
we all millennials as well. Like me and you are both millennials, so
Hmm.
there's also we not gonna shit here and shit on our fucking generation,
I
right?
because I will
Because
take a
we
nice
there's
dirty
also
dump.
people that are more like there's more people like us. There's like there's like-minded people like us, of course, because like Tay is on this podcast, right? From time Tay comes through. Motherfucking, we know fucking Mr. Nelson, Jeremy, Jeremiah. You know what I'm saying? Oh, we all got like I don't feel like any of us are really like super entitled or fit any of these shit that we complain about right now. So shout out to the millennials that don't they think outside the box and they like free spirited and open minded and all that good shit. You know what I'm saying? Not all of us are fucking jerk offs and and ruining the industry and shit. You know what I'm saying? Not, we don't all think the
But the
same, of
stuff that
course.
I'm saying, Lawrence, is that am I incorrect?
No, this is but I just want to shed some light that it's not all millennials, but it is at least the ones that are fucking that are cool are the ones that are fucking cry like little bitches. Cause those are the ones that's what's trending and that's what's popping. Those are the ones that don't get canceled. You know what I'm saying? Like you get canceled if you're not with the fucking the hive mind type shit. You know what I'm saying? But that's
When
not everybody.
when was this a thing? This hive mind shit. When was this a thing?
I don't know. This shit. Yeah, but this is the negative effect of because we are the fucking children of the information age. Dog. The internet got popping when we were kids. We're the generation where this shit actually evolved into what it is now. You know what I'm saying? You remember the AOL dial up and shit? Remember that shit was popping, nigga. You was talking to girls on AOL like, hey girl, what's good? You know what I'm saying? Like that shit was like crazy, bro. You remember that era? Like nobody gonna experience that shit how we were, but now it got we feeling the negative effects of it now, bro.
Yo, I ain't gonna
So
lie to
it's
you,
like
yo.
you just feeling the negative effects of it. That's all it is, bro.
I ain't gonna lie to you, yo. That AOL was popping, yo. You remember when somebody left or signed off, yo? They had that little door closed.
Yeah,
Kadoosh.
facts. Oh god, nigga.
Kadoosh.
You know what I'm saying? MySpace niggas and shit. Nigga,
MySpace.
we grew up with all that shit, nigga. When Facebook was popping, that shit probably still popping. I'm just
But
old
it's
now, nigga.
just
You know what I'm
there's
saying?
a you know what else too?
Mhm.
Millennials, I will say this. Typical millennials are hypocrites.
Yeah.
You know, how could you make a character with titties and a waist and an ass? That is so misogynistic. Like, why would you do that? Right? And then go on fucking, I don't know, TikTok and twerk. Or you crawl on a bed and be licking a fucking mic, deep throating a fucking mic, or have no clothes. I'm not doing it for men. I'm doing it for myself.
Man, those are certainly a wide range of people, but is it the same? Is it the same people? It's of the same generation, but more than likely, it's not the same people that are doing it.
To
There's
me,
hypocrites here and there, but it's not all of us,
to me,
of course. You know what I'm saying?
call me a millennial is the equivalent of calling me the N word.
That's what I'm saying. It's like
It's dirty.
we
It's
by
dirty.
definition are millennials
I'm
because we
aware.
fit the description through the age and shit,
But not
but
all
we don't
black,
act like
but not all
we
black
don't have
people
the
are, but not
characteristics.
all black people are niggas. I get it.
Exactly. Like we don't have not all of us have the characteristics of said millennials. You know what I'm saying? So it's like what we really talking about is something else. You know what I'm saying? It ain't really millennials. It's
No,
really.
we are just outliers for some reason. I don't even know why
Mhm.
we are different. I don't know.
It's just certain people grew up a certain way, or certain people they fucking just had the privilege to fucking think a certain way. You know what I'm saying? Like we might say that we more fucking old school, even though we fucking millennials, we think more old school, or we were just brought up a certain way, bro, where you appreciate shit and you can see things from another side of the shit. You know what I'm saying? And certain people just have that. They grew up in a privileged lifestyle where they could actually. It doesn't have to be money, but where you think a certain way because you were brought up a certain way, or you haven't experienced certain things. You know what I'm saying? So people gonna think based on their experience. That's how it is. So if you grew up a bitch ass nigga, you're gonna do bitch ass shit, bro. At the end of the day, dog. You know what I'm saying? If you think from what you experience, bro. That's what molds us. You know what I'm saying? Some people turn into something else. They come out of the cocoon and become a fucking butterfly. Pause. You know what I'm saying? And become something great. And they endured some crazy shit from the elements that was going on as during their metamorphosis. That shit either gonna make you or break you, bro. You know what I'm saying? And the real niggas shine through every time. So
Well,
that's
so
that's what it is at the end of the day, dog. Everybody's just just got the different experiences, bro. You know what I'm saying?
so let me ask you this: what do you think is going to be the fix?
I don't know, man. Time heals all, right? Time fixes all, bro.
We have
Boom.
to go through a whole societal collapse and a reset.
Yeah, man. Like I said, dog, a lot of the shit that we complaining about today, that's just not gonna be fixed in our lifetime, dog. To try to make the most out of this shit and give energy towards what you feel is important, dog. At the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? Because the only way we can invoke change, dog, is if you take a leadership standpoint on shit, and then have people be inspired by what you do, and then perhaps follow or inspire them to do other shit. You know what I'm saying? That's only, but that shit takes time, and
Mm.
that's the most fucking costly. Or most that's the best. That's the currency that we all value, dog. That's the most valued currency, dog. Is time, dog. You might think it's money, nigga, but nah, nigga, it's the time, dog. Time is money. Time is all that shit, nigga. But you ain't got time, you ain't got shit. So
It's rough,
yeah,
but I
man.
think
So
that we are going to end it here. I got kind of pissed off at just the way that things are going. I mean, it's probably going to sound like I'm racist against white people. It's everybody. It's all the typical quintessential millennials. You know what I'm saying? You got black people that gives other black people a terrible fucking name. You know, crazy fucking 7-inch nails. You know what I mean? It's 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 not good. You know what I'm saying? You know, people don't even want to dress up. What's going on, Nelson? What's going on, Jeremy? People don't want to dress up. You know what I'm saying? Professionally. You know, they don't want to look good. You know, that's for the black community. You know what I'm saying? So everybody has issues. You know what I'm saying? I remember Lawrence. I was talking to a customer, man, and this lady, I guess she came from Russia, and the guy was white, the husband, and I'm sitting there on the phone with this customer. I think I already told you this shit, where the girl was screaming. She did not want the guy to get sold the phones that I was giving him, even though it was going to take $125 off of his bill. You know what I'm saying? So even though that was the thing, she was screaming for 25 minutes to the point where I had a headache. I had to literally take 2 aspirins, screaming. What? What did you do? Whoa! He's gonna do it. For 25 fucking minutes. That's what I had to hear. Gonna be straight like the rock. Shut up, bitch. That's why I felt like saying. It was rough. Entitlement through the roof. Anyway, thank you guys for showing up. I really appreciate it. That shit put me in a sour mood. Y'all ain't even gonna shoot. A whole ass sour mood, man. That's how I feel. But I'm gonna get some games in. I got some things I gotta do later on. Depends on what's going to happen with that situation. Um, Other than that, we're good and we're out.